record. And then I'll figure out how to upload a recording. I don't actually know how, but I've learned everything else in the last 3 months, so why not learn that? Yeah, and it's always risky too, because you never have any idea if things are going to work or not. These were all such nice squares, and I'm like, well, this is going to work out just fine. I think I can't see something, and I have a blue square in here somewhere. Yeah. Why do I have one too many squares? Oh no, that is a blue square. Sorry, I'm looking at this one trying to make it fit. Never mind, that one was a blue one. Did you guys pick backgrounds for yours yet?
No.
I picked a DSP actually.
I did.
Mhm.
Well, and you know what? It's all just personal taste at this point. I will recommend though, maybe not picking something super busy because this is not working. It's also the same color as the squares, and so you can't even see the green squares. Even like up close, I can barely see the green squares. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate that our paper is only 8.5 inches wide because it needs to be 9 by 9.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it works if you decide to do like a bigger DSP on the back and then a
Excuse me.
smaller white
Thank you.
white inside of it. Because then it doesn't. Then you would be cutting 1/2 inch off anyways. Ooh, I was kind of thinking this wood grain paper that came out of the one from Onstage. I have the foggiest idea what that's called. Do you remember the set we got for Onstage? Who was at Onstage? Christine, I think you were.
We got paper?
For the Stamp and Share, if you ordered that extra Stamp and Share.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah.
the new sets out of the catalog. So here's the thing, it's all flowers. And if you ask me, and I mean, Stampin' Up's amazing. Their decorators are amazing. So on one side is all sort of colorful patterns. So this one is, I want to say petite, but I'm not sure that's the right word. And then some of them are flowers. It looks a lot like the hand pen, like it's kind of a softer colors, if you ask me. But the back of every single page is whitewashed wood.
Is it? Oh.
Every one of them. Some of them are thinner strips, some of them have darker lines on it, some have lighter, some of them have diagonal, the lines go diagonally. But I love this, like makes such a nice background, and you don't have to emboss it or anything. So it makes great cards, Steve. But I love this. And as it turns out, I think I like it for the squares too.
Yeah.
Pauline, which one did you pick?
Actually, I just did plain cardstock.
Yeah. Did you have any of the 12 by 12? Like, here.
No, the white, yes.
Yeah.
The white, but the other ones, I just, cut it down. So the white has a bigger border, and then, I don't know, I'm just more, I like the plain, because a lot of the squares had, the DSP on it, so.
Well, and the other thing too, and this is, I have to, so this is what I always do when I do this. I take there's a little spacer that goes in here that holds the glass away from the back of the thing, right? So most of them just pop right out. So I take all of that out, having dropped a piece of glass before and broken it while I was doing this. But also it gets just filthy with fingerprints by the time you're done. So I always take it out because then you can use it just like a frame. Like you can see how much of the overlap is there and stuff and where it's going to fit, and get the idea of what it would look like without actually see. Because now that I put this white frame down, that's too white, like white on white. I don't like that background now, or I don't like this frame. It's one of them.
Oh, yeah, because it's not popping.
Yeah, it just and there's it's almost like there's 3 different colors of white going on. Stuck here. I have to. I can't slyly do anything on my phone, but Donna is messaging.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Where is this? I don't know who's messaging this. Yeah, I have all sorts of different colors of frames. I only brought in the black one because I have some different wood ones. I have a barn wood one that's kind of a darker gray that might actually work with this. I found one I thought it was such a great idea. It was this red color. And I'm
what about black? Maybe that would be good. Yeah, the black.
It doesn't match real red or cherry poplar. See, to me, the black one looks better with the white background than the darker frames.
Yeah, I like the black there.
Okay, so why can't, so Tamara's trying to come in.
Maybe she should go in manually, like putting in the meeting ID and the password. That's how I got in because I'm just on my iPad, so.
Okay,
Yeah, I have an app.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's how,
because otherwise it won't support it.
right.
Right, yeah. So it just took me straight to the app.
okay.
Well,
Because I found Tamara, now I just gotta figure out where Donna's messages. There we go.
So I don't know.
Sorry, fell asleep, so we'll watch the recording. Okay. There was no real there was no real like agenda. It was more to say let's put our stuff together. But yeah, the biggest lesson I've learned is don't glue anything down yet. So I'm not even sure if I'll glue mine down tonight by the time I'm done. I tend to look and change and do a few times. And yeah, the wood, the one that you talked about, Christine, I like that color wood, like that kind of light birch wood, but it's so light it only works for certain things as well.
I know, so I hung
That,
to it, but we'll see.
that one might be nice for the fall.
Yeah.
That's true, if
Well,
you
and,
pair it
I
up
wish I could find
with,
espresso.
yeah. That's true, it's kind of woodsy, right?
Mhm.
I think I'm just gonna go. Well, see, and so everybody did both, right?
Yeah,
Or everybody here, I should say.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
I did.
What did I do with my things? Oh, there they are. I was trying to figure out, so I wanted to be able to keep track of who did what. Oh, I see Farrah in the waiting room. And so I just put everybody's name on the back on a sticky. But now I'm thinking, but when I put it down, I'm like, I think I might have to make a grid on the back just so I can later when I'm trying to remember who did something, I'll have some idea.
There's Tamara.
See that?
Hello.
Here.
Like, wait
Hello.
a minute, I think my team is having a meeting without me. What the hell?
You know, how you feel to be the observer for a change.
I know, I'm sitting
Yeah,
here.
you don't have to do anything.
This is what I was supposed to be doing, but it's not the same without.
Oh, I opened my mailbox today and it was there.
Felt mine too.
Sorry, Tracy, to hijack your meeting. Now
That's okay.
everybody's gonna leave and go to the mailbox.
I think it was Pat posted something about, I have barely left the couch today. I feel like absolute garbage. So every now and again, I'll just like check for messages. And I saw Pat had posted that I think it was her, that she was looking through her catalog. So I told Merrick, who is just getting over being sick, that he needs to get out and get some fresh air. I'm like, go check the mail. So he took the dog and he went to the mailbox, which is like one house over. He comes back and I said, did I get anything? He goes, I forgot the keys. If you don't overreact, it's just a catalog. But I was like, I'm sending him back out in the cold. I don't care if he's coughing.
You know, Dave was out shoveling the driveway when I came back from the mailbox and I'm like, I'll be busy for the next couple hours.
Yeah. I've been so good this week though. I've only read like, I don't know, 10 pages of the new Outlander book because I don't have time right now. And I know if I start, pulling me out. I've been so good about it, but yeah, that catalog, even though I've seen it before, it's different when it's a paper in your hand.
It's totally different. I know. Okay, I'll just sit here and I'll put myself on mute. You guys just get back to business.
Well, as with all good projects, you need a peanut gallery to give your opinion on whether you think something works or not. So feel free to chime in. So I really wish I had a blue frame for this.
You could paint it.
Oh, I do not paint. Oh, do I hate painting? See, I can't.
You could wrap it in fabric.
Hmm?
You
could
can
just
wrap it in
spray
fabric.
paint it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I see. This is what I keep going back and forth with. I was gonna do some of this beforehand, but like I said, I've barely left the couch all day. So, but yes, I'm super impressed how well these things coordinated, so that you can you have to. By the way, Christine, you must have spent a lot of time making this square.
Not really, they went pretty quick because they were pretty small. Yeah,
You
it was
should have
just the
done-
die.
You should have done my check it out Tuesday. I couldn't get a Northern Lights situation going on to save my life.
When I use the brushes, it takes like 4 tries.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It
Great.
is.
Very
So,
sick.
and really, you know what? This could be, I guess, depends how particular you are. For me, when I do, this is way easier when if you are making like you are purposely making the entire sample, you can decide, okay, I'm gonna have DSP on these 4 points,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna put the polar bear on the opposite side to that one. And where's the other snowman? Those are far enough. Oh, see, that actually worked out pretty well without trying.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really just personal taste. If two squares seem darker is not the right word, but I don't know
Yeah.
what the right word is.
I would separate your snowman and your penguin because they're too similar to be
Yeah.
so close together.
Similar, yeah. That's really what you're doing, is just deciding
Mhm.
Where to put everything.
which is going to go where
There you go.
and how are you going to. But see, now I have DSP. Where's the other DSP over there? Yeah, I don't know. I
Looks
said
a little
this
heavy.
ten
You got the
times.
two solids on the far left. Yeah.
Say that again.
I'd put that pink one in the middle right to balance off because it's a little heavy with the bear up on that row. Yeah. Something like that, maybe.
The other, no, I only have one penguin. Okay.
I'd switch that works too. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Were you guys, so did you guys notice, if you want to get on an avalanche at some point here tonight? So if you want to layer them. Blue. So if I wanted a darker blue, this is DSP, but it really doesn't matter what if you wanted it, like, so you have a darker blue line,
Oh, a matte, like, yeah.
you're batting
Yeah.
it. And then
Yeah,
Then you
that
have-
looks
and
nice
then you have the
too.
squares.
Yeah.
You just start with this one at 9x9 or 9.5x9, depending on your frame. Because it does, like, to me, I think this is the answer to it. I want to use the white frame because it's wintry and I want white, but it's too white.
But with that blue matte,
And
yeah.
I do actually have,
Separate the white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
somewhere I have a 12x12 piece.
Draws
of-
it
That's
all in. I like
I
that.
like that.
Now you have to, oops. Wait just a minute here. You have to adjust. I haven't cut any of these pieces yet because I changed my mind 10 times, so I like to wait, not cut till I've like settled on something. But you have to keep in mind that you lose some of the, like, so I can barely see, like, from straight above, you can barely see the blue.
Yeah.
because of this lip.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in. And if you're gonna put, but see, I like this better. I mean, this is how I will end up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I might even make it straight. What the hell? There we go. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna make it 9x9, and then I'm probably gonna end up cutting
A bit off of
at
the,
least a half an inch, if not an inch, off this. So it'll be like 8x8. And actually, I will try a piece of white paper, like just like plain old cardstock at 8x8, before I cut my nice DSP up and put it down on top. Because then that will tell me. Because then when I go to these
your images will just be closer together, right?
yeah,
your
well, and it depends because
Yeah.
this guide shows you where the edge of the frame is,
Mm-hmm.
and then it shows you got about 3/8 of an inch, and then in
Yeah.
between you have this much. So either it works better when you make a smaller square, but I'm just gonna cut into all of these things. Like I'm gonna cut a bit into the side, and then I'm gonna probably cut this in half. So I'll still have a little bit bigger border of this paper around the edge, and then I'll have like smaller spaces in between.
Hmm.
You just have to shimmy things over. And quite honestly, I made this because when I made this as a class, like I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 customers come over one day and we had a blast. We just set out a bunch of frames. I had pre-cut a bunch of background squares in a bunch of different colors. And then they just went to town on the craft room. Oh my God, there was such a mess. We had, I think everything I owned got pulled out by the time we were done. And they kept saying that the trouble was spacing it. So I thought, well, I'm going to try to make a spacer this time. I have never used a spacer. I honestly don't even ever use a ruler. I just eyeball the thing. So once I figure out, okay, this square will show, and then this square will show. And then here, I'm going to take all these extra pieces out from underneath that might make it easier. This is where it's going to go when I cut it down to my size. Then I'm gonna eyeball them. It's gonna be something like this, right? They're just gonna be a little bit closer together.
Okay.
There we go.
Mhm.
And I guess it's personal preference. I find that if you don't cut the side of the square, like the side of the paper, perfectly straight, or if the frame is not perfectly straight, your picture can go a little wonky, right? So instead of starting in the middle, I always start in this corner. Right, I just start in the bottom left corner. Once I figured out what the spacing is supposed to be and roughly what it's supposed to look like, I start down here and I put this one on and I fix it down. And then I know what the spacing is supposed to be and I put one beside it. And then I put one beside it and then I move my way up.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
if you start here, it's much easier to go like this. But if you're using the edge when you're eyeballing it, because if you're gonna adjust, these markings aren't gonna really help you.
Okay.
Right? So if you're gonna eyeball it, start in the corner so you can line straight on this edge and straight on this edge. And then this row is straight and this row is straight. And by the time you get to the middle, as long as you maintain your spacing, you don't really have a choice. It's gonna be straight, right? Well, I can already tell that with that blue border. And like I said, I'll probably just get out the navy blue. Well, maybe not. I might just use this piece of ESP. When I put this on top,
Yeah, that's nice. I like that blue in there.
Mhm.
that's gonna give me the look I want. I still haven't figured out on the darker squares what color I'm gonna use, but you know. And
Nice.
then depending on your confidence level with how straight you are and how fast you are, I've used tear and tape before. If tear and tape, you get like one shot at. But if I had a heavier square, like some of the squares, I'll tie ribbon around and I'll put the metal embellishments and stuff on, like the little charms that hang down or whatever. Some of those are bigger and a bit heavier. So if I'm doing that, I always put tear and tape on the back so that this square doesn't fall off the picture, because you're basically fighting gravity once you put it together. Right?
Yeah.
But you could also use the green glue, the Tombow glue, because then when you put it down, you can actually squish it a little bit. And I think this stuff is strong enough that it's going to hold, right? Like this is what a lot of people use for 3D. So I'm going to try this time. Like I said, I use tear tape generally. I love tear tape. I use tear tape, but I'm going to try this time and see.
Good idea.
I think it will give like a nice little bit of play, and then I'll see. Because you can pop the back off these squares or off these frames so easily. I've had the odd one where like when I take them to markets and stuff, they go in and out of the box and in and out of the box. They would just hang on the wall. And every now and again, something will fall off and you just pop open the back, glue it back down. But I haven't had that. I haven't had it happen very much. Here, I'm going to do something because.
Did you have a lot of luck selling them, Tracy, at the market?
Sorry?
Did you have a lot of luck selling them at the market?
You know, I didn't. I did the market in May. I did one day in May.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't great. I mean, the market in Morinville, they only charged $25 for a table. So I made my money back, but it wasn't very busy.
Okay.
And I hurt my back so much just trying to get it all done and doing it. And it was so hot.
Yeah.
So then when I was supposed to do the next one, my back was still really sore and I decided against it. And then it just, with all the other stuff going on, I decided not to. And then I noticed when they moved indoor that most of them weren't wearing masks.
Oh.
So I decided, you know, I really can't. I'd like to be able to see my
Yeah.
father, so I can't go there if that's going to be the case. Because I know there's a wide opinion here on whether to be vaccinated or not. And so I couldn't risk it. So I ended up not doing any of the indoor ones either. But they showed pictures of them, and the indoor one, the Christmas one that was last weekend, it was definitely busy.
Good.
But yeah, that's the bonus. Well, in Tamara, I'm assuming, I think I asked you this before, but I'm assuming Alicia made out okay because the youth table's even cheaper. Okay, don't cut it at 8.
Yeah, it's only $10 for her. We haven't gone though since just before the September one when it was going to be nasty and inside. So we haven't gone in a while, but yeah, she always made her table fee back, but it was pretty slow. She didn't make a lot. We're doing the one in Maturin here on this Saturday. So I expect that we'll sell out a bunch of stuff there. So, because this is probably the last time she'll do it. There's been a flash in the pan. Every 2 years she gets these inspirations. So I'd like to deplete the stock and be done with it. Because we've broken even now on all the supplies. Now it's all gravy, right? And I'm like, okay, now's where we need to sell what we need.
I think it's almost easier. I don't know. Like I got to assume that those leashes are, durable and will last years.
Oh yeah, they're great.
It's the farmer's market seems to work the best if you're going to get like that one good sale, somebody, and then consumables.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's got to be something that people have to keep coming back for more.
Yeah, no, yeah, they last for years. I've been using this one of Koda's for years.
Okay, so if you want to, I cut the first piece of paper 8x8, and my squares went off the edge of it. So don't do that. But okay, so here's the other piece of advice, which I did not do. Oh, there we go. So when you get your frame, there's the backer board. It's better if
Yeah.
you put that underneath your stuff before you start, because then you don't move everything, because your frame will go on it better with that piece of backer board. Okay, let me see if I'm in frame. Oh. No, I did a frame.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is 9x9 for the blue piece, 8.5 by 8.5 for the whisper, and I just put plain whisper right. And I'm not sure if I would actually change it to DSP, because there's not very much of it showing. So it might be worth it just to leave it as, if you're doing the original measurements, you'll see a lot more between the squares, but here you're seeing 1/8 of an inch and maybe not quite 1/4 inch on the sides.
Mhm.
But see, I like that. Now my white frame works because now I got a blue border on it.
Yeah.
So, and I think, so yeah, 9-inch square and an 8.5, if you're gonna layer them, works on this 9x9.
Yeah.
But like I said, then you just kind of have to eyeball it, because now your Douglas lookie is not gonna work. I had other thoughts too. This is totally not gonna work. It's gonna pick this one up.
Okay, I'm leaving now. It's time to go watch my baking show with my kid.
Oh, okay. I put down 2 hours, but I doubt it will be a 2-hour endeavor. I just thought, let's all go and see if anybody has questions or needs, help choosing. It might be worth it to do this sampler like in the spring, if there's odd numbers or whatever, because you can fill in yourself, but you can make really cute mini cards with them too, right? Like this is one of the squares on a piece of 6x3 folded in half. And oops, I gotta put that one back in the middle. I do like that as the middle piece. I don't know if that's where I started with that as the middle piece before, but now that I've lost track of what the hell I was doing. But check this out. This was one of the ones I made just to show you could put DSP on it. I never even
Oh, that's nice.
and all I did was put it
cute.
in the corner. And honestly, all of this I picked up off the corner of my desk, because as you can see, I'm gonna bring this back. There's always a pile of something on the side of my desk. I could put like a little tropical flower in there if I wanted to. There's always something on a fence. I have a piece of fence here for some reason. A deer. Oh, a deer would probably work. Stick a deer in there. But yeah, so you could use the squares for. So this idea works for pictures, or if somebody's like, oh, I'd like to try, but I don't want to make a picture. Who doesn't want to make a picture? Yeah, so I'm actually quite happy with that now. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I quite like that. What are your guys' thoughts about everybody like finishing their squares or their frames and then just posting pictures for people to see?
Can do.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because I think it'll just give people ideas, and then you can see all the different like choices people use for layouts or backgrounds or whatever. Because I think, okay, I'll ask you this question. If we do this in, I think we were gonna do March. No, maybe it was February. So you'd have the stuff by March, because Easter's the beginning of April sometime. Do like an Easter square and a spring square or sampler. Would you do this again?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
swap?
I would for
I
sure.
think so.
Yeah, I gotta add all the seasons on the wall.
Well, and that was my thought.
Bathroom.
I mean, my craft room needs pictures. I have like one entire wall. The 3 walls, you can't even like put anything new, but the one wall that I stare at is very blank. And that's what I thought is, do I put, like, I could have just rows of them going that I could look at, or even if you have like one place that this goes, every 3 months you change the picture out and the other 3 sit in the hall closet.
I was gonna say that, like,
Yeah.
we've actually got that kind of idea with our mailbox. Like we bought it at a market and we just insert different panels for different seasons,
Oh, that's cool.
right? So this is kind of the same idea. You could, if someone doesn't want to invest in a bunch of frames, have one basic frame and then just switch out the papers.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, and because they like I said, they pop up in and out really easily.
Because
And yeah,
you don't
you
have
need-
to glue it down to that, like to this piece, right?
Yeah, no, I don't.
No.
I leave
No.
it like
So if
this.
it's just sitting on top, you can
Yeah.
easily just take it off and put in a new one, right?
Yeah.
And then back same frame.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so you don't glue it to the board?
No, I
you're
don't.
saying. Oh, you don't, okay.
No. Because
Unless you want to
decide-
just leave it in there permanently, I guess, or
I-
I
yeah.
suppose if these all come with boards, you could attach it and then just switch out the whole board,
That's true.
right?
Well, and you also get, oh, this one doesn't have, depending on the frame you get, these are actually the old IKEA ones that are still 9x9. And then I have some new 9x9 ones from Michael's. But some of them have, like, the piece of paper that's in them is more like the DSP backing, like it's a little bit thicker. Because like if your picture is really heavy, you could stick this to a piece of that. I was thinking, so this one also came with one of these pieces of mat, which I guess if you really wanted to be, I can't remember whose pink square this is. Let me just cheat and look on the back. Oh, Laurel's pretty pink square. If you really wanted to show off Laurel Square,
Ah, there
Yeah.
you go.
right? Like, but since we all wanted 9 squares, but this piece of mat is fairly stiff cardboard too. And even though there's a big hole in the middle, you could also just glue the edges of it to this, right? And then it's a little bit stiffer. But see, for me, when I put it in there, oops, I'm knocking everything everywhere now. To me, and one of the reasons I start on the corner is so when I put this in the frame and I get everything together and I stand it up, if it goes at all like wonky, I usually just trim off a piece here to make the paper sit straight in the frame.
Right.
Right. So that's why I started that. As long as one side is good, then I can usually just trim the paper to make it fit. Because every now and again, like 9x9 will usually fit in this 9x9 opening, but sometimes it needs to be 8 and 15/16 to fit in there, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm liking how this looks. But I think that's what we're gonna do is if we option it off for like the next time, and a few more people have said maybe they'll try it, and I think that's what it needs to just give people ideas, like how they go together. And I think in general our timing was okay. Things are so screwy right now. You can't 100% guarantee anything, but I think the timing helped. Because I think we did like you had a month to do it, a month to get them in the mail. I think it was. But yeah, if we do, because that was my thought would be spring and Easter. And then the next one was summer, and then maybe just like a Canada one, because to me the big holiday in the summer is Canada Day. You could make like just a patriotic one, and it could just say red and white in Canada, or like I guess you could have a few other colors. And then the fall could be back to being sort of fall Thanksgiving-ish or Halloween, and then so everybody has the choice of you could do 1 or 2, or and just because you do like winter this time doesn't mean you have to do springtime. You can do winter then Easter. Like there's no. And if we get more than 9 people total, we'll just make more than one frame. I'll just keep spacing the groups out.
Or
Okay,
do like do
Yeah,
so many groups of 9 then.
yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask. It would have to be, right? If there's more of us.
Yeah, so that's but told you, my brain is just fried today. Sinuses are just like pressure, like unbelievable pressure. Yeah, it would just be 9, and like I'll go if I have to make 2 squares or if I have to be in each group to make it work, I'm fine with that. I love making these things. But yeah, it'll just be we'll just do it in groups of 9, and you can be in as many of them as you want. And as long as If you're in more than one, you just have to make sure whatever you make is different.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing saying you can't make these and gift them,
Right.
right? Like, I mean, you can do whatever you want with it, it's yours.
Yes.
So if you want to make more than one or have other people help you out and make more, because I figure the spring or Easter one, depending how you, because you can tweak it. Like this one, if I wanted to, not that I want to, because they're all just perfect, but you know, you can add extra things in. This one you can't really see. I picked a bad example. You can add extra stuff on it, especially if there's a bit more space between them. You can add little embellishments and stuff on. So if you wanted to take, like I could take the summer one and I could turn it in, my brother's in the military. I could add like a little military flair to it and give it to him. I could take the spring one and the square I make, I could adjust my square to say Happy Mother's Day and give it to my mother. I could make
Yes,
something for my
yes.
dad, right? Like you could, however you want to do it. But it helps with all these other squares, like somebody else is doing all the other squares for you.
Mhm.
So yeah, being in more than one if you want.
Okay.
But that's what I figured, if we're doing it if we do it 4 times, then we do it every 3 months. And there's no, like I said, you don't have to be in every one of them, but you can. But that's about how those like seasons and holidays time out. Well, the winter one was easy. I'm super happy with the winter one.
Tracy, before you move that, who did the snowman one? Because mine kind of fell out of my envelopes and I don't have names.
The Let It
That one.
Snow or this one?
No, that one.
This one?
No, yes.
This one?
No, that one you did.
No, I did the penguin.
You did the penguin. Who did that one?
This one?
Yes.
Okay. So this one says Cold Twigs, Warm Hearts is Marlene.
Yes. Okay. Let it snow.
The Let It Snow one is Trina. I know Christine, and this one I think was Donna's.
Yeah, Donna did the other polar bear, I
Yeah,
think.
and Marilyn. We already know that's Laurel, so this is, can't remember who's left.
Yeah.
Oh, that
That
was
was
yours.
me.
I guess you knew your own. And
Yeah.
this one was Pat.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I think I might, that's what I was trying to figure out. If I take them like this and take a picture of it, flip them all over where the names are and take a picture of it, then we'll be able to remember whose square was whose.
Yeah.
Because the names are all on the back. But I'll have to take those stickies off before I glue them down. But even if somebody doesn't replicate this, I mean, there's certain squares in here, they might go, oh, I have all those things. That's perfect. I'll make that one. And like I said, some of these would make super cute little cards. Actually, they all would
Yeah.
make really cute cards. All right, we should have a prize for the first one to hold up a finished one. Who's got a finished one?
Not yet.
Let me see. It's in